Good morning. Welcome to the CHTV Principal Show. My name is J.D. Arlen, joined as always by Principal Williams. Thank you.
J.D., how are you doing?
Join us. I'm doing great. Big news for you announcing your retirement at the end of this school year.
Correct.
When did this decision come about?
Well, I actually announced it 2 weeks ago on Friday, or to be 2 weeks this Friday, but this is, as I've told lots of people, this has been a long process where you have to come to grips with, as I said, giving up the very best job a person could have with being able to do some other things. So I plan. I think we all kind of look 5 years out in our lives. You probably do too. You know what it's going to look like for you for the next 4 or 5 years.
Right.
I've done that through my whole career, and there were probably 2 or 3 years ago where I started thinking about, okay, when do I want to do this? One of the interesting things that people have always told me that you would know when it's time to retire, and I really didn't know that. I knew for myself that there was a time in my life when I wanted to do some other things at an age in my life. So I guess the decision was made. I talked to Dr. Wall early or late in the first semester, and then it was just a matter of kind of talking through how that would work and when I would make the announcement and those kind of things.
Gotcha. Well, we actually have a clip of that announcement that we'd like to play as long as you're all right with it. So let's just take a little bit of a look at the announcement from last Friday.
And I wanted to inform you that after a lot of thought and discussion with my family, that I've informed Superintendent Dr. Wall of my intent to retire at the end of this school year. This has not been an easy decision. It's been a difficult process where I've had to come to grips with giving up the best job I've ever had in order to be able to spend more time with my family and to do some other things. Being principal at Carmel High School has been an amazing experience. But when you do this job, it is difficult to do anything else. That's the way it is, and I would not want it any other way.
All right, welcome back. Beautifully produced video. Very nice shots, I have to say, from the broadcast perspective. You talked a lot about your family in the video. You talked about some tough decisions, as it would be in any job to leave. But who would you say is the biggest influencer in this decision?
So I had your questions before, and I think I was. I talked to a lot of people, certainly my family, my wife, and my older children, but they were all very supportive of whatever I decided. But this was a decision that I made, and one that I made based upon things that were important to me and things that I want to do. So, the most influential person in this decision was me.
That's exactly what we want to hear.
Yeah.
That you left on your own terms. That's great. What are you doing now with your time? What do you plan on doing with your time as a retiree after Carmel?
Well, what I'm doing right now is 100% Carmel High School
Yes.
principal, and soaking up really every day of what we do here. One of your fears when you leave, just like you have, I'm sure, is that you're going to miss something about this, and you know that you will. But you also believe that it'll be replaced by something that's also exciting and meaningful to you. So I have the same thoughts, and so right now I'm doing that 100%. When I retire, I'm gonna take some personal time initially, kind of get used. It's hard to imagine, what retirement will look like. I know I'm going to spend time with my grandkids, and there's some traveling that Paul and I want to do. As I said in the video, we're looking for an opportunity to go down somewhere south, maybe in Florida, for a couple of weeks or a month and a half or so in the winter. So those kind of things we know will happen. The rest of it, I'm just really going to kind of wait and see. Have no specific plans. I know myself, and I know that I want to stay pretty active, at least in a more restrained way and in a less committed way. But I'm nervous about it, to be honest, and what it'll look like. A year from now, I'll be able to tell you a lot more about it than I will now.
Gotcha. Understand it. What do you look for? Obviously, we always talk about, what makes a principal great. And if you kind of listed those requirements out, I think it would fill you very well.
Thank you.
We've been very lucky to have you for as long as we have. What qualities would you like to see in a principal for Carmel High School? I think you have the best perspective of this because of how long you've been here.
Yeah, of course, I think, and I applaud Dr. Wall and his efforts. He's met with our staff. He's going to meet with some students and have some more focus groups where he's going to get some input from the stakeholders, which I think will be very valuable for him. For myself, it's not complicated. It's that person who really just comes in here and loves Carmel High School. I think you have to fall in love with this place. You have to understand that the expectations are high, and that's a good thing. And that your job as the principal is to support. We have amazing teachers, amazing students, amazing programs. I don't think there's anything that needs to be necessarily fixed. You just have to continue to grow, and you have to have that person who appreciates what we're doing, has pride in what we're doing, but never lets that pride turn into contentment. That they're there to support what you guys do, what you do in this TV station, what we do across the hall, and the other communications, our publications, down the hall further in performing arts, down the hall further in athletics, back with Tech Hounds. I mean, you just point your finger,
right.
And we have these amazing things that the person needs to be able to support and encourage and find ways to make those things happen.
Gotcha. Well said. What legacy are you hoping to leave? If you could look back at this school, 5-10 years from now, you talked about that view. What would you hope to see?
And I'm very confident that I will see. Carmel continue to succeed and offer amazing opportunities to kids, and I think that's the thing that hit me when I first came here, was that this advantage that our size gives us, the advantage of opportunity, and I anticipate as the years go on, we're not going to get any smaller, and that we're going to continue to find ways to offer young people like yourself amazing opportunities to do things that are going to help you when you leave here, and at the end of the day, in a great way, prepare you for whatever you decide to do. So I think that, and I don't be humble here, because I don't think that's necessarily my legacy. I think that's the legacy of Carmel, and I had the honor and the privilege to be here for a fair amount of time, but nothing necessarily changed during that time. It just got better and better, but I was as much a part of that as you were, or teachers were, or whatever. So I am very confident that Carmel High School, with the culture that we have here and that we've had for dozens and dozens of years, will continue to press excellence, commitment, and opportunities for kids.
I'll be honest with you, Principal Williams, I'm choking back the tears. That was very well said. I think I can't believe how humble you are about it, and the legacy that you're going to leave is hopefully that sense of accomplishment and the sense of pride in Carmel.
Yeah.
I think that's what we want to see as Carmel High School students, as somebody that really loves to be here. And when you're on these videos that we do, we ask you, what's your best vacation, or what's your favorite activity to do? Always, every single time, it's be at Carmel High School.
Yeah.
Be a principal at Carmel High School. We love to see that continue. Last question today. We wanted to keep it short and brief. Just talk about
Sure.
the announcement that you made. Can we count on seeing you at some of our CHS sporting events and activity? I should say,
Yes.
not just sporting events,
Absolutely.
but activities throughout the next few years.
My grandkids, who are now, the oldest is 10, and then Harry's 6, and I mean, they've grown up at Carmel High School, and they've come to our musicals and Evening with the Ambassadors and Holiday Spec and all sorts of athletic events. So it'll be difficult not to be here. I don't know. I'm sure I'll be at some. Certainly not something I'm saying I don't want to ever come back here. It's just you want to see how that all fits and, how awkward it might be and, that kind of stuff. But I tell seniors every year, and I've told myself this over the last couple of months, no matter what you do or where you go, we'll always be Greyhounds. And I believe that. And whether I'm at a game or just following it on Twitter or watching it streaming live somewhere or catching, a production, I will continue to have pride in what we do here.
Wow. Well said. That is all the content we had today. Principal Williams.
Yeah, hey, buddy. Thank you.
Fortunately, this is not the last episode of The Principal Show. We've got a couple more left, so stay right here on CHTV's YouTube channel, CHTV Carmel Television, for more content, and we will be back next month. Thank you for tuning in.